everyone, it's Kim here at Hancock Homesteading Gardens. And what is it that Johnny says in The Shining? I'm back! Today is Thursday and it's time for another Vita video. A video every day in April. And since it's Thursday, I'm going to do tips and tricks. Now, I was going to actually do the potting itself, but then I remember I have this thing on and I didn't want to get this thing dirty. I took it off to see if I could do it without it, and no, I can't. In case you're wondering, I have sprained my thumb. Yes, my thumb is sprained. You don't realize how much you use your thumbs until you don't have them. I mean, I'm a one thumb person right now, and it's getting me by. But oh my goodness, I'll be glad when this thumb heals. So anyway, I'm not going to actually be using any potting soil today because I just have to give my hand a little bit more time to heal. But I want to show you some suggestions I have for potting seeds. And today I want to read a couple of things to you from the Old Farmer's Almanac Gardening 2016 calendar. And the first of it is on April the 7th, we did have a new moon, a full moon, and as E, the empty nester, suggested, you should be growing or planting your root vegetables at that time. Another thing that they suggest is to add 5% annual rye to a wildflower seed mix. The rye will grow quickly, protecting the slower germinating wildflowers, and then it dies back by the time the flowers are established. Now, I wanted to bring that up because I really believe that if you have any kind of a little area in your yard or on your homestead that you can set aside for wildflowers, that would be an awesome thing to do. The monarchs are starting their migration from Mexico, and they're heading up for north to Canada, and they're going to need some wildflowers along the way. Now, they're also going to need milkweed, so if you can find some milkweed seeds, get that milkweed planted too. Did you know that the monarch population has declined by 90%? Yes, we only have 10% of our monarchs left, and we need to protect that 10% and increase that population. So, do what they say, add some rye seed to the wildflower mix. April the 29th is National Arbor Day. So, think about where could you put a tree on your homestead. And then, this is interesting. I love to eat cauliflower. I'll admit that I've never had much luck growing cauliflower, but they say that cauliflower can now come in different colors besides just white. So I think that's pretty awesome. Okay, so there's your Old Farmer's tips. Now, my tips for today are this. The first thing is that if you have seeds that you need to store them in an airtight container, and actually the darker the better. We found these red ones and they work really well. And also, if you store your seeds in the refrigerator, they will last longer. So, airtight, dark container in the refrigerator. I have two containers. One has my flower seeds in it, and the other one has my vegetable seeds in it. Now, another thing that you could do is you could take index cards and make a little filing system where you would have cucumbers, and then you would put your different varieties of cucumbers behind that index card, or tomatoes, and then you would put your different varieties behind that index card, and those index cards could help separate those vegetables even further. Right now I don't really have enough seeds, so when I tried that, all they did was they just kept sliding back down. So I kind of have mine in order. Another thing I've seen people do is put rubber bands like around their cucumbers, rubber bands around the tomatoes, and that might have to be the system that I use for this year until I get my seed supply built up. Okay, see, that's what I mean. I can't even close a plastic container because of my thumb. Now, there are different techniques of sowing seeds indoors. A lot of people like to start their seeds indoors and then move them outdoors. And for many varieties of flowers and vegetables, you can do that. Now, some will say directly sow, and you have to wait on those. But there are some that you can start inside. And to do that, you're going to need a seed starting system. Now, you can go to Walmart, Lowe's, Farm and Home, and buy these seed starter kits. And inside the kit, you're going to get these little cardboard cells, because the cardboard will eventually break down. You put your soil into the cell, you put your seed into the cell, and then after they begin to germinate and then grow, these cells, especially after they've been wet for a while, just very easily break apart, and then you stick the cell into the ground. Now, but I had John look at Walmart this year, and these were $6, approximately $6. If you wait till the end of the season and you go into a smaller store, like your local Ace Hardware or your local Farm and Home, they may not have sold out of all of their seed starter kits, and you can get them for half the price, which is what happened with these. We were able to get these at a discounted price. So look for, just like any other thing, look for your seed starting materials at the end of the season for the following year. Okay, if you don't have enough money, if you don't even have the $3 to buy a seed starting kit, or the $6 if you buy it in season, there are other methods that you can use. And one of those is the egg carton. We've used egg cartons with our kids many times. And the first thing you're going to want to do, though, when you use the egg carton is you're going to want to take that top off, or I do anyway. And you can use the top for planting seeds around the edges, but you know, that's up to you. But this side is the most efficient side, and it's very much like the cells in the seed starter kit. You put your dirt in. The dirt should be pre-moistened, not soaking wet, but pre-moistened, and then you put your seed in and you let them germinate and grow. And then when it's time to plant outdoors, you may have to take scissors or a knife, because these don't come apart quite as easily as these do, but they come apart fairly easy. So, you know, most of us eat eggs, and we have to buy these anyway. Now, be sure though, when you buy your eggs, that you get the cardboard type carton and not the styrofoam carton, because you don't want to be sticking styrofoam into the earth. But these will break down and decay. Okay, another suggestion would be to use a shoebox. For example, and you're thinking, well, how am I going to get that shoebox broken apart? Well, you don't have to. You take your flower seeds and you have to read how far apart they are. And this one says to plant 8 to 12 inches apart. Well, this this shoebox is 12 inches long. So I could actually put a seed pretty much in each corner. And after they germinate and grow, I would just take this out and dig a big enough hole for the shoebox to go down in. And the shoebox breaks up, decays, and goes away. So, you know, save your old shoe boxes. Another tip is to use toilet paper rolls for your cells, your seed cells. Save your Christmas rolls. We all, usually buy Christmas paper at Christmas time. And what do? We just bend them up and we throw them away. Well, if you think about it, I know it's like you're thinking Christmas, that's in December. Well, yeah, but March doesn't, March is only 3 months off. So if you think about it and you can save those Christmas rolls, these are excellent. And you just cut them to the width that you need. And you can get several seed cells out of a roll like that. And the toilet paper roll, you can get 2. And we use Velveeta cheese. And the bottom of the Velveeta cheese boxes are very sturdy, and you can use them as a seed starting cell. Another suggestion is to use a plastic ice cream bucket. Now, my ex-husband eats a lot of ice cream, and so I have him save the buckets for me. Now, the thing with this, though, is that you cannot just stick this bucket into the ground because, of course, it's plastic and it is not going to break down. But you could start like potato plants, sweet potato plants. You could start them in an ice cream bucket, and then just like when I was repotting the houseplants, just take a knife, break it around the edge, dump it out, and then put your root ball into the ground. Or, usually a lot of times this plastic just gets really weak and flimsy, and you can just break the plastic off from around it and then put it into the ground. Milk cartons are another good source. You just cut off the top, and the bottom you can use for your flowering. Now you'll want to put holes for drainage in the bottom of those with, like a nail and a hammer. No big deal. If you're like me, every year there are some flowers that I do end up buying from the nursery. A lot of times I will get my petunias from the nursery, and so I keep the little containers. And a lot of times, this one had 8. It looks like we used 2 of them, but you get the tray. If you buy enough of them, you get the whole tray. And so there you have it. You have your tray, and then you have your little cells. And of course, since these are plastic, once again, you can't put them directly in the ground, but you can cut around the root ball and very gently slide it into the ground. So there are different methods that you can use to start your seeds besides just the store. When you put your seeds in, you're going to want to label them. Now, at Christmas time, my sister gave me some labels to use. She knows I like to garden. That's another suggestion, is that if you will hint to family and friends that you like to garden, a lot of times, even in the winter, they can go on to like Amazon and buy gardening supplies. But she had bought me some of these really nice plant labels. However, if you don't have a sister that buys you gardening gifts, go to your Dollar General store and pick up $1 worth of package of plastic silverware. And you can use even the forks if you're careful, but like the spoons and the knives are the best because, there's enough room on that spoon for me to write, or even abbreviate, marigold. Dollar Tree plastic silverware makes really good plant labels. All right, this is Kim at Hancock Homesteading Garden saying bye for now. Bye for now. Hoping this gets better soon.